Well, great to see you. Pastor Colin here, along with President for Life, Dean Funk. And we're looking forward to talking about a little bit about some of the technology changes that First is going to be involved with here as we start to look towards staying connected as a congregation in the fall. So, Dean, can I call you Dean, or is it President for Life?
Sir is fine, but
Sir, okay. So, sir, maybe you can give us a little background about what's been going on.
we have been, since the lockdown back in March, we've been doing a online presence for the service, which is done kind of piecemeal. It is based on a more or less a copy of the bulletin, and then if you've been on there, you know that you click each of those links to get the readings, the music, the sermon, the mission minute, and any other parts of the service. But that involves a lot of work. I know Ellie and I have done readings, and it can take a full day to get 2 minutes done and posted on the website. So we're using a lot of people's times, and it's also pretty cumbersome.
Yeah, can you talk us through the schematics?
Yeah, so the way it works now is folks record on their cell phones or their iPad or their computer, and then the people have different levels of ability to edit those. Some have none, some can shorten them a little bit, but basically those are uploaded to YouTube, and then the YouTube links are sent to Gene Brannick. So the musicians, the contributors, and Pastor Colin will all make their videos, upload them to YouTube, send them to Gene, and then Gene organizes the bulletin that's posted to our website, which we have a new one too, don't we?
We do, yeah. And if everyone can do a Google search for flcoc.org, First Lutheran Church, and then look for flcoc.org, it'll make it a lot easier for people to find it in the future. And so, because right now you might have to look a page or two in on the Google search to find it.
Yeah, I think when I did it the first time, it was 6 pages back.
Yeah.
So anyway, so then on a Sunday morning, then you'll see the service more or less like you're sitting there with the bulletin, and then you click the links and you'll see each contributor's part and the sermon. And the problem with this going on into the fall season is that the musicians in particular are going to be strapped for time, because both of the Stephen and Peter are both teachers, and their job is going to be quite complicated because of the coronavirus. So we're looking for a way that we could help that on. And also the service doesn't really flow like you're sitting in a pew. So the belief here is that if you tuned in on a Sunday morning at 9:30 and we had streaming video, which is what we're going to talk about next, you would be
ready for the next schematic?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So streaming video means that we would broadcast more or less to the internet a live service from the sanctuary. And to do that, you'll see in this schematic here a bunch of pieces that we need to do that. We need a camera. We need the projector that's already there. We'll need the sound system, which is already there. And our understanding is that we have a high quality sound system. So what we're missing is a computer so that we can put the sound and the video out to Wi-Fi for people to watch. And that would be like sitting down in front of your TV and watching a TV show. So let's see, do we have the next one that shows the camera? Or is that
so the one from EMI?
Yeah, EMI. So we chose EMI to get the equipment from, because they were the ones that put the sound system in. So they've done quite a bit of work for us in the past, and we called them and got an estimate, and they gave us 3 estimates of how to do it. One is you could just have a free roaming camera, but that involved, it would make a video, but it would take a lot of post-production work to going to turn that into something to put on the web, and it also requires a pretty skilled operator to run that camera. So this is a video control box that would control the camera and the sound. You see there's 2 rows of buttons on it, and right where the arrow is there. So you can do 16 presets. So that would mean on a Sunday morning that who's ever doing the sound, as long as they have a cue for which camera to use, they would just push one of those buttons and the service would look pretty seamless. So for instance, number 1 would be on a wide angle, and number 2 would be the pulpit where pastor's going to speak, and 3 could be the musicians, and 4 the choir, and so on and so on. Can you show the camera ones?
Yep.
Get up a ways. There it is. So that camera is about the size of your fist, and it sits on a base that's called a gimbal. So the gimbal allows it to look anywhere in the sanctuary, and then it'll remember where it's at once you program it. So when we set this up, it'll get programmed, and then the presets will be labeled, and then all we have to do is push the button and see what you want. So this system, after we had a technology team that we formed, and we looked at these and decided this was the best of the options from EMI. Mm-hmm. And we brought this to the council in July and talked about it at length, and the decision to buy was put to a vote. We voted, it was unanimous. The price for the whole system, so you see the price from EMI with installation is about $12,000. So this system has a projected life of over 10 years. So, you could look at it as a little over $1,000 a year that we'd be spending to be able to reach out in a fashion that would be much easier to watch than the way we do it now. So the only thing that's not in this estimate is the computer and a table. So those would be another, I don't know, 2,000 maybe on top of that. So the council voted to do that. A big chunk of the money is coming from the memorial funds. So people that have donated over the years, and we haven't really bought anything from the memorial fund. We'll use a big chunk of that for this. And of course, we had money in the bank from the sale of the building. And
yeah, and Dean, one of the exciting things that happened this week is we received a phone call. I received a phone call from an anonymous donor who, when their family heard about the plan that you put forward, offered to offset $10,000 of the cost of the technology equipment. They said that they were excited that this was going to be a way for us to share things like not only the Sunday service, but family events and some of those special things that go on, whether it's a baptism, a wedding, or a funeral, to be able to share that with folks outside of the church.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to equip the church for not only COVID, but also the future. So yeah, I think that, we're not encumbered by the building anymore, but we have some money, and this seemed like a good place to use it. So
that's fantastic.
When we got the estimate from EMI, they had a videotape of a church that got theirs. I think they had it active on Friday, and then Sunday they did a broadcast, and it looked great.
Mm-hmm. Dean, I want to know, it seems like we're going to get the financial end squared away. Is there anything else that we need from folks? Maybe are there techs who might get a chance to learn how to play with fun toys like this?
Yeah, we need probably, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 people that know how to run it, so that we can be equipped for things like vacations and whatever else. It's kind of typical that not everybody is there every Sunday for running the soundboard, but we have enough volunteers that'll work. And then our belief is that training somebody on the video would be, I think, as simple as up on the screen in the front, just having a number in the corner. So you watch for that number, and then when that number pops up, you touch the screen and you have the right shot. So should look pretty seamless. And then we'll see, we'll play with it when they put it in there. So all this equipment, EMI says they can get it in 1 day and then they'll train. So we'll have a chance to try it. And then I believe the way it'll work is we'll have some folks from the technical team there, and we'll learn how to use it, and then we'll try to teach the other folks. But EMI is a resource whenever we need them. So.
Yeah, we'd love to have people involved with that, and I think it's probably going to happen in the 3rd week of August. That's the current guess, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, Colin. It turns out that when we ordered the equipment, the suppliers of this equipment are kind of swamped because everybody else is doing what we're doing. So they were having longer than normal delivery times.
Absolutely. And you know, something I think I heard you say it, but I just want to amplify it. It's that ultimately the choice that was made in terms of this setup for a camera was made for ease of use, something that we thought that might be a little easier to use and require a little bit less sort of technical know-how, so that we'd be able to have a lower entry point in terms of helping out with the service with that in this way.
Yeah, we talked to the SDA congregation, since they already do this, but their system is mobile, so they move it around all the time. So
yeah,
it wasn't
and
an
Pastor
option
Eric
for
said
it.
that his son and a handful of other kid members in their late teens, early 20s are running all over the church with cameras and switchers and this sort of stuff. And so I'm glad that works for them, but I'm not sure that that's quite our speed.
Yeah, it would should be pretty easy to use, really. And then, you know, the other thing is it'll cut down a lot of post-production work, because I know when you do your sermon, Colin, you spend quite a bit of time editing afterwards, don't you?
Yeah, clipping it and putting in the slides and that sort of thing. All of that work should be pushed now ahead of the worship service, and so we should be able to have the computer sort of locked and ready to go on Sunday morning, so that whoever is sitting there can just advance the slides and change the camera angle, and then whatever they're seeing is what anybody who goes onto YouTube and clicks onto the First Lutheran YouTube channel. And so really we should be about 2 clicks away for somebody who's watching at home, and you know, only a handful of management for whoever is sitting up in the balcony while the worship leaders are doing the service.
Yeah, it should be good.
Good.
Set us up for the future here.
Well, that's great. Well, I'm really excited about it. Thanks for very patiently and eloquently explaining what all is going on in this big new step towards the fall.
Yeah, thanks.